Hi guys, welcome back. All right, so let's go ahead and take a peek at the today's topic video. Actually, I think I want to go with this deck instead. Um, this week we'll be doing more mythology storytelling in the zodiacs and other stories, but I'm not going to keep it specific for this today's topic series, okay? So we have the Chariot and we have the Queen of Swords. Cancerian energy, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. We have someone who says, I am so ready to move forward. The only thing is he's got like a colander for a hat. He's got a toilet plunger for a staff. He's got house cats to pull his supposed chariot. And he's kind of in like a twin sized hospital bed. So I'm thinking somebody has this idea of what they can do. And the Queen of Swords comes in to say, whoa, now that can't happen right now. I know you want to get up out of bed. I know you want to move your life forward. I know you have all these intentions, but let's be realistic here. There's maybe a need to heal a little bit more, or look, I get the intention. The intention is to move forward, but she kind of looks like she's bringing about some truth. Like this might not be possible at the moment. So something might need to be delayed for good reason, right? We don't want somebody trying to say, I can do this now, I can do this, and they overextend themselves, or worse, give themselves a big setback. AC, hey, love, Queen Ditch, Robin, great to see you guys. We have an Eight of Cups upright. The Eight of Cups is the energy of, I'm walking my own path. It's the energy of, in this case, we have two of her, by the way, and then we have the full moon. This feels like our Queen of Swords she's either having deja vu, or something during this full moon has made her recognize. Even here, she's looking up at, this kind of like splotch of color in the sky, in the night sky, no less. The moon is what's hidden. I'm starting to wonder if she hasn't said to somebody, don't come near me, but maybe more that she's recently thought of somebody, like they popped into her head and she sensed that they were about to move toward her. And she's like, God, I felt like this once before as well. But it does feel like she's either possibly blocked them or blocked that feeling. And she's like, I remember this before, and then I was so disappointed because they didn't. So I don't even want to listen to that intuition that I feel like somebody wants to come toward me. We have the Tower. I do feel like this is her saying, no, you know what? I've gotten my hopes up before. I felt like somebody was going to reach out to me and then they didn't. And it's hard to go through the emotional highs followed by the disappointments. That's what this is starting to look like. Each card we get a slightly, more expanded storyline. Yes, guys, I'm live right now. Thank you, everybody, for hanging with me tonight. We've got a Five of Pentacles upright. By the way, guys, I will still be doing Capricorn and Aries tonight before, well, technically it's already almost into the morning, but for me, it's still nighttime. Okay, so with that Five of Pentacles sitting here, oh goodness, this is starting to make me think that she's been pretty disappointed because she sensed things before that didn't come true. And that would make sense because we've got somebody who wants to come toward her, but I don't see how they would. You normally what we see is like lions pulling a chariot forward, and emperors and empress energy is what rides in a chariot. We're going to have to sleuth out this card a little bit more because I don't see how he could move forward toward her. But maybe this is just her saying, I don't want to get my hopes up. So what? I sense that they're about to reach out to me. You know what? Been there, done that, and nothing happened. So I'm going to shove this out of my mind. I'm not even going to believe this. It didn't happen during the full moon. It's not going to happen now. I'm just going to be a realist here. This is done. This is over. This person is a freaking statue. I'm never going to hear from them. Let me just deal with some disappointment and then purge it and not think about this anymore. I can see why a Queen of Swords would be like, I'm just going to be truthful with myself. Why would I think that they would do something different now when they've never done something different before. They've never reached out to me when I thought they were going to. We should change decks because now I'm real intrigued by this character because I'm like, okay, first off, we'll call them the chariot person, right? But again, they could be an emperor or an empress though, because that's normally who would ride in a chariot. But they could be a Cancerian, but this is more about their emotions. Okay, so have you ever thought that you were going to move toward her? Did you have at least one time when you were so sure you were going to? Knight of Swords in the reverse, they're like, not impulsively. Okay. So there was never a time when you were going to suddenly just reach out. Seven of Pentacles, Five of Cups. He's like, no, it's not like a sudden flash. It's like all the time. Like I always think about reaching out. Seven of Pentacles, that's like every day I think about it because every day I'm sad that we didn't have this fancy dinner with maybe I was going to propose and I never did. Maybe this was where I thought a relationship was going to go. There was some reason. If you got champagne, you know you're toasting something big or it's very romantic. And we still have this bistro table out there, have this romantic location with a bottle of champagne. And he stands there and he's like, in the back of my mind is always that dinner we didn't have. Maybe it was for a proposal. Maybe it was for something. But it's like, no, I don't think I haven't like randomly recently or at any point in time thought maybe I'll impulsively reach out. It's like, I think about it every damn day. Seven of Pentacles all the time for however many days or months or years this has been. I've been bummed about this all this time. Okay. Why are you in the chariot that has, you're wearing a colander instead of a real helmet and you've got a toilet plunger instead of a staff? Eight of Cups. Look, this person does not look like this empowered, I'm off marching through my life and seeking what I want to find. This is somebody who's kind of like bent forward and, like the heaviness of life is on them and they're kind of like strutting along, but it's more like with difficulty. I'm alone. The Five of Cups is I'm disappointed. This Eight of Cups has a disappointed energy of walking alone. But again, with the moon being here, this energy of I don't know where I go. All right. Do you have any inkling that the Queen of Swords thinks about maybe hearing from you and that she's been deeply disappointed that she hasn't? He's like, Queen of Swords. Did you say Queen of Swords? That's who I think about all the time. But see, she held up her sword and said, I can't talk to her no more. Okay. So that's why you're sad and alone, because the Queen of Swords said, don't talk to me. Is that what we've got? The World card, the Eight of Pentacles. She started a new life. She went someplace else. She's, building something else. She's real stable in her new life. Okay, interesting. But she's the one that you pine for. This is just so weird because she's obviously thinking about them on the 13th, but she's talking herself out of thinking about them and saying, I'm never going to hear from them. I've been down this road before. Forget them. They're not coming back and let this thing go. But see, in her mind, it may be like they're never going to put down their ego enough to reach out to me. But they're over here saying, she put up her sword. I can't talk to her. And maybe that's the whole point. Maybe she said something along the lines of, you can't come at me the way you have been. If that's what she said, that's not the same as, beat your feet, get on out of here. That's saying you can't approach me if you're going to behave in a certain way. And if they took it to mean she won't let me come around, she went all Tom Petty on me. Don't come around here no more. Stop walking down my street. Who do you expect to meet? Hey, don't come around here no more. Sorry, love that song. When I get on the jag and I start listening to that song, I listen to it for like 10 times in a row. And then I'm like, okay, I'm good for a year. We get the Page of Wands. We got the Devil. We got the Nine of Cups. Well, this is kind of looking like they were super toxic and super self-centered. So if it was like I don't know. This is still on their side, right? And they're saying she's moved on and she's doing great in her life. This is a card of like a traveler, a photographer. They see her as somebody that, like moves forward in life, probably finds other hobbies, other things. They're a little obsessed with her, but they also seem to, I don't know if this is what happened in the past, but it seems like there was some toxicity and some selfishness. It was, about my happiness first. So I can see why she's saying this is over. Um, it's never going to be something that is just like he's going to drop the ego and come toward me. So instead, I need to drop this and stop thinking about it. So it's more like on the 13th, this is her story. Her story is I need to stop thinking about him. And I'm wondering now, universe, you want to weigh in for her? We've got the Fool sideways. Hang on. Because the Fool is the baby of the deck. It's the fresh beginning. It's the new start. We've got the Knight of Cups in the reverse. Let me get one more. King of Cups. I think that this is like the universe is saying to her, great, you've been telling me that you don't want to think about him anymore. You've said it before, you're done with this, you're walking away, but then you went back to wondering if you'd hear from him, and again you're saying I'm done, I'm walking away, and the universe is like, this is good if you're sure about where you want to go, but if you're not sure about where you're going to want to go, it's like me when I can't decide like what clothes to wear before I leave the house, or let's say what outfit's going to match with a backdrop, because believe it or not, it changes. Like you have to be really careful with color tones and colors of backdrops because of the lighting scenario. So like, certain colors you cannot wear together at all, unless you balance it out with something else where it creates a, like the warmth or the cool tone that you need. Otherwise you can look very green or very orange. And so when you learn more about lighting and stuff like that and color tones, it helps. But there's a lot of you got to test it, and you can waste a lot of time. In fact, this backdrop is very hard to dress for. You'd think it'd be easy because there's so many colors to go with. Nope, it's a pretty small palette that works, and certain tones do not work at all. Can't wear light pink or you look naked on this backdrop. But you can spend a lot of time if you don't know what you're going to do. What color am I going to wear that'll make everything work and tie together and not overpower, but will complement and just kind of be part of the background. If you keep changing and you can't figure it out, you can waste a heck of a lot of time. And I think that's what she's kind of been doing in this, I know I should let it go. This is sad though. I thought I was going to hear from him once before. I don't even care to hear from him. I'm over this. And then it's like, but wait, I think I'm going to hear from him again. They're going to come forward. No, they're not. Okay. Once again, I'm done. This is like, you gotta commit to the color palette. You gotta commit to what do you know to be true. Don't keep trying on a color that you know doesn't work. Don't go through every shade of pink and mauve when you know it doesn't work. Don't keep trying to say, but I think I'm going to hear from him. Look, he always thinks about you. Always. I mean, he admits it. I think about you all the time. I always think about what didn't happen. I think about you freaking every day for 7 years, about the romance, about the possibly like the marriage proposal. I'm really sad I'm out here on my own. I think you're doing great alone. But we don't really see any change. And we certainly don't see him taking action, because it's like, she said I can't talk to her anymore, or she implied that. So I'm not going to try. And if that is the case, if she closed the door on him and she's not going to reopen it, or if they are too passive to try knocking on the door again, this is over. And I think the universe is saying, if there's not going to be a leap forward, then maybe you need to leap away and instead go towards something else that you do want. You want to meet a King of Cups. You want somebody emotionally available, somebody who you don't picture has an ego so big that they'll never drop it and actually tell you how they feel. Then, and if that's what the doorway is, if that's really what the blockage is he can't tell me how he feels about me, then I'm not going to welcome him back in just so I can be with somebody who keeps their emotions completely stirred and I never know how they feel. So I kind of think the universe is like, yeah, if it's not meeting your needs, if his energy's not floating your boat, then how about you jump away from him and jump toward naked Poseidon floating in this. I mean, the lily pads are strategically placed, right? So I don't actually have to cover him up. Everything's good there. But it is kind of a funny card because this is Poseidon. He carries his trident. And normally think of Poseidon, god of the sea, super powerful. But he's like, but I also like to just lay in a lily pad sometimes. I love him. He's one of my favorite King of Cups because he's so funny to me. Plus, he's in there like naked, just kicking it in a pond. I don't know why that cracks me up, especially because he's Poseidon. But if that's more of who she wants, somebody who is powerful, but real loving, real sweet, she didn't get any of that from that other character. So waiting for him to come back and then getting disappointed when he doesn't, when all the while she's like, I know he's never going to drop the ego. The only meltdown moment that I see in this, though, is he's insisting she won't let me come in. She won't let me come back. She put up her sword and she said, no, I can't come back. Where she is under the impression, she's like, unless he can offer me like his emotions, that's what he would need to do. And he can't drop his ego enough to do it. So I don't know if they both have this disconnect about what they think the other one said or what the boundary was that was set, but it still stands that if he doesn't want to like make a move or knock on that door again, she's not chasing him down to open it up, from what I can tell. Universe, do you have a message just for him? King of Swords and the Ten of Wands sideways. The universe says you can say all day that you're real sad and you think about her all the time, but you also are living your life the way you want to. And, you know, if this is who you want to be, remember, she was a Queen of Swords that he could have matched with, but it looks like the way he's doing things, he's keeping his heart outside of his chest on the tip of the sword. He knows that's what he would have to offer, but he's sitting back quite comfortable saying, I know what I would have to do. It's not what I want to do, though. So I really miss her. But she said I can't come back unless I offer my heart. But see, I'm not going to be doing that. So she's my Queen of Swords. She's the person I love. But I'm not going to do what she said I would have to in order to be with her. Why? Well, Ten of Wands is here, and it's sideways. So I'm guessing that there is like something here that hasn't been laid down. Maybe we could say ego. This is fear, guilt, shame, remorse, whatever this is. Maybe he's like, I can't come back in and say sorry. I'm just not made that way. I like to be, you know, less emotional, and this is who I want to be. So she would have to accept me on my terms, which is I'm not going to be a King of Cups for her. That's not who I am. And that's fine. But this does hint at some kind of underlying hurt, pain, stress, unbending energy that is due to some kind of like wound or preset pattern that usually would behoove a character to release that. But we have this omnipresent, low grade energy of like, nothing's going to change my world. I'm not doing it. And it looks like he's content. 9 of Pentacles in the reverse. It's weird because it could also be that he's telling himself, it wouldn't matter if I did. I'm sure she's not single. Well, you aren't going to go find out. So you can have decided that. And it kind of seems like he did. Maybe that's what that Ten of Wands is sideways. It's like, it's too freaking late anyway. You know, she's already booed up with somebody else. So I'm not about to humble myself, go in, tell her how I feel, only to find out that she's with somebody else. I don't think that this person can lay themselves on the line, even if they know she was the one for me. I think he's like, I'd rather go do something new. I'd rather just move on in life and go meet somebody else. Oh, sure, she'll always be the one that got away, but that'll be my private, you know, stress and wound that I carry for the rest of my life. I blew it with her. She's already with somebody else. You know that? Well, no, but I'm sure that she would have been, and I don't want to find out. My ego can't handle that. So I'd rather go meet somebody else myself. I do not think that this is a tragic story, that these two are somehow seemingly not going to end up together. I think that the message for the 13th was that we have a feminine who has been not 100% honest with herself about, if she's really done with them or not. When I think she's called it like it is. I think she says their ego is not ever going to drop. If they loved me more than their ego, they would have made things right with me. They would have come in and fixed things with me by now. I'm a Queen of Swords. I know better. But I also had a hard time wrapping my head around the fact that somebody could really leave it this way. They could really let something go. Then the ego would have destroyed this relationship anyway. Both of them together would have wrecked this one. And I think the universe is saying, darling, if you want to jump any direction, jump toward warmth and love, because that's ultimately what you're actually asking for. And you might be asking the wrong person for it. There are beautiful naked Poseidons all over the place that just, waiting to be snatched up out of their lily pad pools. Go for one of them, but don't keep waiting for somebody who it looks like you kind of know their MO already. So why wait for the person that hasn't yet shown you a different side when who you want them to be is just not who they are? And maybe that sounds, harsh, but I think it's such a great little, what a relief. It's true. I was asking the wrong person. I did this the other day. I bought a slice of pie from a company, and pie is not their forte. There are places, pie is like a thing. If you do good pie, you do pie. You're going to be known for it. But if you just randomly add pie to a menu where nothing else at all has pie-like items, I'm not saying it couldn't be great, but I took a gamble. It was not. It was supposedly a cream pie, but it was just simply whipped cream. That's it. And I do mean that's it. I was like, what? Dear God, what is this thing? And it was very interesting. And I was like, I don't know who told them that this is pie, but it's like it was made by somebody who's never had pie in their life. And they were just delightful people that work there, very young. And I wondered if maybe that's why they didn't know what pie was. Because pie is old. But it was really funny. And I was just like, that's not their forte. But don't go shopping for pie at places that don't have pie-like items on the menu. So be okay with that. Go shopping for pie at a pie place that advertise pies if you want good pie. Know what you're looking for and then go seek it from the right place. Because she keeps saying, this is the final message to her. You're a Queen of Swords. You already know. If you didn't want somebody that holds back, you met somebody that held back, and you knew it from the very beginning. You knew from the very, very beginning. She got even this little thought bubble up above her head. And I think even though she's a Queen of Swords too, it looks like she's found a lot of inner peace about this. It looks like she's changed a lot because of having met this person, because she's now able to accept. Some people are very happy not being emotional. Some people are very happy not opening up, and maybe she couldn't have wrapped her head around that before. So this has been a great lesson for her, but it's also something that she did know right out of the gate, but knowing it and then actually experiencing it and saying, wow, somebody really would be happier to let me walk out of their life than to open up their heart. And even if they're disappointed that I'm not around, they will not change a damn thing from me. They will not meet me even halfway. It's just interesting because we keep seeing that there is this hint that perhaps both of them want things their way. She may not have recognized that about herself, but a Queen of Swords upright, which she has been, 3 times now, I don't think that she's lying to herself about anything. I think if anything, maybe just because they're a matched pair doesn't mean that they're a matched pair. We can say they're both super intelligent, but if you don't temper, cold logic with the heart space, then you're still missing a component. You can have people who have different types of emotional intelligence as well. You can have, I mean, that's why, you could get three brilliant minds together and you think, oh, well, we've got the dream team, all these brilliant minds in a room. And you know what? They can't do, like, okay, I'll use this as an example. Didn't a Mars rover crash on Mars years ago? Because although they were brilliant, although they could figure out how to get something all the way to Mars, they forgot to switch it from like, metric into like standard. Because, in the US, we we don't use the metric system. And it's like, if you're using a different measuring tool, I mean, they could build everything, but they got it there and then they smashed it into Mars because they forgot that one critical component. So you can have super intelligent people and they can still miss something obvious, or you need a different kind of intellect to do the checks and balances systems. You've got those rocket scientists, those brilliant people, but then there also needs to be somebody else who has common sense, street smarts. And so I'm thinking that these two could have had different kinds of smarts. So although they look like a match, because they're both brilliant, but they could be brilliant in different ways. And really, for a compliment, in this case, it says her compliment is actually somebody deeply emotional. It's Poseidon. That's who her compliment actually is. That's what she's actually hungry for, is somebody who can like really carry different strengths than she's got and is really warm and like cuddly. So just interesting. It's an interesting observation. And I think that this is the moment she goes ahead and she stops waiting, or I'll say secretly waiting, because I think she was secretly doing this and she's kind of acknowledging it now. I waited for them and I kept thinking any moment now. And it's been so disappointing because they didn't. And I'm wondering if this full moon was like a big wind up. Maybe she really thought, this is it. This is when I'm going to hear from them. And then it just didn't happen. And this is the recognition that, yeah, they do miss me, but they miss me every day. But they're okay missing me for the rest of their life. You know what? I think they're not my person. I think this is a day of great freedom for her from this. All right, I'm going to leave this one here. You guys, thank you for being here. Moonlight Shadow, I agree. Common sense is totally underrated. Selenay, so good to see you. Oh, sweet. I love that song. Kenny Loggins, I think it's one of his best. Meet Me Halfway Across the Sky, Up Where the World Belongs to Only You and I. Love that song. Was that another one from Tom Cruise movies? Denise, I'm so glad to see you also, sweetheart. Thank you again, honey. Cherry Coleman, great to catch you. Moonlight Shadow, you're adorable. I feel like I should be sipping coffee, but I better not since it's late where I'm at. Courtney Jade, I love that. Oh, so into it 333. Thank you. Thank you so much. You guys, I so appreciate you giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Thank you for reminding me. Sweet. You know what? I literally almost said that in the storyline. Nothing's going to change my world. The version that they did as like a tribute to Lennon, where Julian Lennon sang the song. Oh, it was, and with Rufus Wainwright. Oh my God, it was so good. That's how I was first actually introduced to that song. But yeah, absolutely amazing. It's so funny that that's what you thought of also. I think Rufus's voice really complimented that song. Sabrina Elizabeth, great to see you. Thank you for the rose, honey. Vivian Hun, hi hun. San Moy, how are you? Delighted to see you, hun. Moonlight Shadow, I love that. I always think of in music. Everything reminds me of a song. Twinette Raven, hi. Shell Hamilton, you're adorable. Well, I'm sorry I'm keeping you up late, but I'm very honored you're here, sweetie. Can you hear the ocean from where you are, Shell? I bet that's like really peaceful. Intuitive Empress 111. Thank you again. Nice to see you. RT, hi, honey. Nina. Oh, Nina, it's so good to see you. I feel like it's been ages since I saw you in a live. How are you? Leah, nice to see you. Just went, by the way. Lauren.co. Hi, sweetie. Hi, Nope. And AC, thank you, babe. You were in the house. Queen Ditch, awesome to catch you. And Robin. Again, Cherry, nice to see you a couple times tonight. Violet's here. You know, Violet, I gave you a shout out earlier. I was like invoking your name. I was shouting out all the night owls. I'm so happy to see you, love. How are you? Denise, you were the same with music. I think anybody that enjoys music, it just kind of like now I'm hearing that song. You fill up my senses. Oh my gosh, Violet, I love that. I love that, Violet. Perfect timing. All right, everybody. Have a beautiful night if this is where we part ways. Otherwise, I will be releasing, recording and then releasing those last two zodiacs that I said I was still going to get to tonight. So, Johnny the Carnat, so wonderful to see you. Violet, I have not said hi to EM, I think, since we went live, I want to say. Whatever day that was. I think it's the last time I saw EM, but I send out the good vibes all the time. So, all right, everybody. Great to see you. Johnny, perfect timing. All right, sweet dreams, guys. If this is where we part ways, or if you're still awake, I'll see you in just a little bit, about 15 minutes, and we'll have a Capricorn video released. And then after that, an Aries, and then we'll call it a night for tonight. I know, Violet. It's been a while. Oh my gosh, Violet, it's 3 a.m. for you. Then I'm even that much more honored that you woke up or didn't even go to bed, but are popping by to say hello. Thank you. I feel very special. Bye, Johnny. Night, night. All right, you guys. Bye for the moment. Take care, everybody.